Okay, this is for example 4 on our test review, and I'm just going to really just focus on this one problem with its multiple parts to make sure you understand how to do all of them, again, right before the test. But to be ready for this one, can you please make sure that you have some sort of scratch paper around, because you're definitely going to need to write out these numbers and do some work on it, as well as having a Desmos tab open. Okay, so what are we doing here? We are going to be writing out these numbers from least to greatest. So notice I have 2,400, 5,400, 5,400, 6,200, 15,000, and they're already written for me in least to greatest, which is nice. I just need to write them out to do some work on them. So here we go, 2,400, 5,400, 5,400, 6,200, 15,000. Okay, so first finding our middle. I'm going to get our Q1, Q2, and Q3. Since there's 5 terms, it's an odd number, it lands right on a middle here. So my Q2, or my median, is 5,400. Then I'm looking at the first half of the data, and I need to find the middle of these 2 pieces of data. So the middle is going to be an average of in between 2,400 and 5,400. What do I mean by average? I mean add these up and divide by 2. Same thing over here. I'm going to add these up and divide by 2. So here comes our Desmos. So I'm doing 2,400 plus 5,400. All right, you guys, let's use my mouse. So 7,800 divided by 2 is 3,900. And that's my Q1. And then over here, 6,200 plus 15,000 that's 21,200 divided by 2. So 10,600 is my Q3. Okay, so now I have my Q1, my Q2, my Q3. They also want the mean, median, and mode. Remember that the mode means the most. So notice that 5,400 occurs twice. So my mode is 5,400. And then by the way, the median we already got. So now we're just doing the mean. In order to do the mean, I need to add up all the numbers and divide by the number of them. So 2,400 plus 5,400 twice, plus 6,200 plus 15,000. And there are 5 numbers in our data set. So let's go add that up. So 2,400 plus 5,400, 5,400 again, 34,400, divided by 5. And that gives me 68,800. And that number on top was 34,400. Okay, so my mean is 6,800. Now the IQR is my Q3 minus my Q1. That's the formula for it. So going back to our numbers, my Q3 was 10,600 and my Q1 is 3,900. I don't know if you guys can hear my son screaming in the background. He's 14 and he's playing Rocket League and he's like making all these weird noises. Sorry if you can hear that. And 10,600 minus 3,900 is 6,700. So this is my interquartile range, which is 6,700. We're going to need this for the outliers. All right, so I've got the mean, I've got the median, I've got the mode, I've got my Q1, Q2, Q3, I've got my IQR. Now I just need to do the outlier tests. And all they're asking for me here, first are the boundary for the lower outliers, then are there any, boundary for the uppers, and are there any. Okay, so my boundary formulas, my lower is going to be the Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. And then my upper boundary is going to be Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR. Those formulas are on all of our notes. Okay, so what was my Q1 again? Q1 was 3,900 minus 1.5 times my IQR was 6,700. And then my Q3 was 10,600 plus 1.5 times my IQR of 6,700. Now when I go into Desmos and I do 6,700 times 1.5, this gives me a 10,050 number. That's this right here. And I got that number already, so I can put it in both places. So 3,900 minus that, it's going to be a really big negative number. And 10,600 plus that, it's going to be a really big number, positive number. Okay, so 3,900 minus 10,050 gives me negative 6,150. And 10,600 plus 10,050 gives me 20,650. So if my lower boundary is negative 6,150, do I have any pieces of data below that? My lowest piece of data, my minimum is 2,400, so there are no outliers. Looking at my upper bound, 20,650, do I have any pieces of data above that? My maximum or highest piece of data is 15,000. That is not above the bound of 20,650. So again, there are no upper outliers. So we use these boundaries to see, do I have data below it? Do I have data above it? And we don't. And then we're going to create a box plot for the radio price from above. So since there's no outliers, that makes it nice and easy. Any number line, any scaling on there is fine. We have our minimum at 2,400. Our whiskers are going to extend to the minimum and the maximum. Your box goes from your Q1 to your Q3. In this case, our Q1 was 3,900. Our Q3 was 10,600. Our middle, I don't remember it. Let's go back and look. Our Q2 was 5,400. So that's kind of closer to this one. And then our whisker is going to go out to the max of 15,000. Okay, there's my box and whisker again. Don't even need a scale if you don't want to put it. Just make sure you have the numbers for reference everywhere. Does that make sense? Because there's no outliers, we don't have to have any random dots anywhere. Okay, so let's go back in and fill in the answers here. So the mean, median, and mode the mean, median, and mode. Mode was 5,400. The median was 5,400. And the mean was 6,800. Q1 was 3,900. Q2, we just got it. Let's write it again. Was 5,400. And Q3 was 10,600. The IQR was 10,600 minus 3,900, which equaled 6,700. The boundary for the lower was negative 60 something 50. Let's go double check that. Oh, good guess, negative 6150. And so we didn't have any data below, so we say no outliers, or let me just say no lower outliers. And then our upper bound was 20,650. And so therefore, there were no upper outliers. And then for this last one, creating the box and whisker plot, I'm just going to go here one more time to remind you this is what you're going to be sketching in right here. If it's too hard for you to sketch, just do it on paper and that's fine. Just put something like on paper. If you want to do the insert drawing new, there is a way to do it right here. You know, something like this. I'm using the scribble mode. What do you guys think? How's it look? And then just add in the numbers. Huh? Not too bad. So feel free to use the insert drawing tool here if that's what you prefer. And then finally, what is another name for the Q2 of the data set? That is known as the median. Yay, we're all done. How'd you do?